Welcome to Bariatric Business Accelerator, the podcast created for busy weight loss practitioners and their teams who want to systematize, simplify, and accelerate the growth of their new or established weight loss practice. I'm your host, Carol Clark, and today I wanted to share with you what I feel are the 4 C's of effective team leadership. I've been leading teams since I was just out of college. I think a year and a half out of college, I was promoted to nurse manager for this really busy mother-baby unit. We were establishing a new NICU, and I was kind of just thrown into it. And I learned the hard way so many things, but it was always one of those things where you take your experiences and you make the most of them and you learn from them and move forward. And recently, I was working with a new practitioner who I'd known for years, but hadn't really helped in terms of consulting with their practice. And he said to me in an email, probably good he didn't say it to me, he said, "Carol, you're a good people handler." And I was laughing to myself thinking, a people handler? I'm not a people handler. I like to think of myself as a leader or someone who can really work together, roll up my sleeves, help people get results. But at the end of the day, he's kind of right. It's a way of handling people, handling your interactions, and that's what helps move your team ahead. And that can be very effective, particularly I have found if you include these 4 C's. The first one is caring. Your team needs to know that they are cared about and that they are an integral part of your team and that you actually do care about them, their goals, their aspirations, their feelings, not to get too into feelings because you have to have rules and all that, I know. But at the end of the day, your team wants to know that you care about them and their impact that they're having in your practice and how things are going. They want to know that you care about their opinions and that you care about their important role in your organization. So they need to know that you care. And you can't just show this once a year on anniversary dates or birthdays or that sort of thing. It's got to be something that's in your culture where people see that and they know that you care. People will ask me, how have you had your team members that are there with you? I mean, I have a number of team members that have been with my husband, Tom, and I for 25 years. I think the lowest seniority for our team is 12 years. So all of our team members have been with us at least 12 years through the pandemic, through downsizing. Now that Tom's retired from surgery, they're still there, and we feel so blessed. But a big part of that is because they do know that we care. And you may think in a big practice you can't really have that, but you can. I've done the same thing in managing very large surgical practices, entire units in health in a hospital, I've been a product line manager for women's health services from childbearing all the way through geriatrics, and people need to see that you care. So that's probably my first C. The second one is consistency. I have to say that people want to know that they know what to expect. They're not going to come in one day and be treated one way and the next day they're treated somewhat different. They want to see consistency, not only in how they're treated, but the fact that the team is treated consistently. There's not favorites. There's not something that's going on where you have people don't feel like it's fair. They need to see consistency. Just like your patients want consistency. They want to know that when they come to your practice, they get the same awesome care. So consistency is a really big one. And I also correlate that with fairness, meaning that you have policies in place and that they are implemented and reinforced in a consistent and fair manner. So people want consistency is the other piece of that. That's the second C. The third C is clarity. People want to know what's expected of them. What does success look like for their role? What are the expectations? So you've got to have those job descriptions, those key performance indicators that you help your team know how to succeed. So they need to have clarity. So if you come out and you have to implement something new and you say, today this is what we're going to start doing and here's how we're going to do it, but there's no real clarity, you might just give a vague example like we're going to increase sales this month or we need to have more consults on the books. That's not clear for people. I mean, it's clear that you want more, but how is that going to happen? You've got to put plans into place and make sure that there's clarity around who has responsibility for what different aspects. When I do a blueprint for a new practice I'm working with, I gather all sorts of information. We do a full market analysis. Dawn works with me. We do a full market analysis, and I create this whole blueprint. But in it just doesn't say, "Hey, this is what we're going to try to do." It's like, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get there. Here's who is responsible. This is the date that these things are due by. Here's how we're going to stay accountable. And then we meet every single week to make sure it's followed through on. So that clarity is really important for your team. You can give an outcome that you want and have them a part of that whole process, which is awesome. You want to have their input so that they have that buy-in, but you've got to have real clarity around what it is you're trying to accomplish and who has what roles and responsibilities for each aspect. The fourth C for me is consequences. And we're not, parents to adolescents, although sometimes there are practices where you might feel that way, but there's got to be consequences when things are not followed through on. People need to know that there are consequences, ramifications, and not in a negative way necessarily. It's just to know that things are reinforced equally among the team, and that there are consequences for things that happen and things that you do tolerate and things that you don't tolerate, and why. Because at the end of the day, you get what you tolerate. So there's got to be consequences. So in my mind, after managing people for close to 30 years in my career and still doing it today, and I love it. I actually end up managing it's kind of leadership in terms of management with all the practices that I work with too, because I get to work with the practitioners and then a variety of team members. So anyhow, those are my 4 C's. You've got to care, you've got to be consistent, you've got to have clarity, and you've got to have consequences. So if you follow those, I really feel like it's a recipe for success, and I hope this is helpful for you. If you have questions or you want to just have a opportunity audit with me, that would be great. Reach out to me, Carol, Karol, at weightlosspracticebuilder.com, or you can just go to my website, weightlosspracticebuilder.com, and you can sign up for an opportunity audit right there. There's also tons of free resources, and if you want to work together at a deeper level, like I say, just reach out to me. I welcome that. In the meantime, thanks so much for listening. Share this with anyone else you think it might be helpful for, and have an awesome day.